Previously on St. Elsewhere.
The board is conducting a feasibility study to determine if St. Legis can go on operating efficiently.
What's the alternatives?
Tighten the budget or close the doors.
How are the memoirs?
Going great.
If you can keep shoveling out trash like this, we got a bestseller on our hands.
Take this down. Her shapely legs straddled my gurney. Oh, boy, you've really lost your mind.
Look, I'd like to discuss this further, but you see, I have to get back to my book. Chapter 15, A Tale of Two Cysts.
Have you seen John Doe? That nitwit stole 333 of the best pages of my life.
Now I know what all those stories in Cosmo are talking about.
You slept with Westfall's daughter?
If you break her heart or hurt her in any way at all, I'll kill you.
Kissing goodbye. Boy, I can't wait to blow this clam bar. Hospital's no place for a healthy person. Pick up a bug here that'll turn your blood black. Whew. Where's my Tums? Burns all the way down to my fingertips. Now I know what the sizzle feels like when they brand cows in westerns. Why can't I move my left arm? Can't breathe. Pinch. Choke. Squeeze. Need a haircut. Gotta shave the tops of my ears. Thing about getting older, you have hair growing out of the most disgusting places. I wonder if Julia knows where the safe deposit key is. Sure she has no idea. Huh? Oh.
Good morning, Elizabeth.
Hi.
Wintergreen, shirtless.
Morning, Mouth?
Did I initiate a conversation with you?
No, sir.
I said wintergreen, not cinnamon. How literate do you have to be to sell mints, Junior? What are you reading, Morrison?
Oh, sorry. Have you looked at this this new bestseller?
I don't have time to read fiction.
Oh, The Cutting Edge by Dr. C. It's sordid, perverse. It's pretty accurate, too.
What do you mean?
Sounds exactly like St. Allegius. The chief of services has cancer. The director of medicine is getting his keg tapped by this knockout first-year resident. Here, listen. She fell limp into my arms.
Let me see that. Joe.
And plenty of it, $24.95.
I'll take one of these.
I'd wait till the paperback comes out.
Get out of my way, Dinglebat. I got patience to read. See.
Hi, stranger.
Lister.
I thought you were going to call me.
I did. I wanted to take you to the Oliver Twist Awards. Didn't you get my message?
No.
Oh, well, you know the phones. Look, even so, before scooting in today, you should have Graham belled me.
I'm a doctor's daughter. I know not to type your beeper.
Yeah, that can be painful.
Besides, I'm not here to see you.
Oh, your father.
No, not him either. Checkup. Viscous.
What? Is anything wrong? Okay.
Oh, that's sweet of you to ask.
What's the matter, Flora?
Hey, you know, Sid, you're looking awfully thin.
You sound like my mother.
Well, you could stand a home-cooked meal. Are you free tonight? Why don't you come over for dinner?
Oh, Lizzie, I think that's a good idea. I mean, Dr. Westfall and
I know you two have had your hassles, but this would give Dad a chance to see in a different light. Away from work. Please. Oh, it would mean a lot to me.
Great.
Tommy's spending the evening at the Brimley, so it'll just be you, me, and Dad. Bye.
Let's see.
Okay, if only I had a little orange sauce.
Don't. After years of delivering Dippy's diapers, I've heard them all. Can I get down?
Yeah, just reach under your wing, pull some out.
I'd laugh, but my gizzard's killing me.
Well, let me take a gander.
Anytime I eat anything stronger than milk, I get a terrible burning pain right here.
Taking aspirin?
No.
Arthritis medicine?
No.
You ever had an ulcer?
Not me, but Dad did.
Okay, I'm gonna order a GI series for you.
Well, now I've got something to look forward to. I better call Dippy. Because when I get behind in deliveries, he goes quackers.
Gone before we got to him.
Send Mr. Belvedere to the morgue.
Right.
What do you think?
You're too late for Halloween. Been rummaging around in your attic?
One of my favorite chapeaux, 1941. A stylish brim. I favor the MacArthur tilt myself. The General always affects a jaunty rake.
Can't you see I'm reading?
Ah, The Cutting Edge. Yes, Catherine just borrowed that book from her Havenhurst. It's nestled now on my nightstand.
What do you think?
Gripping. Especially the chapter on the cancer-ridden chief of services, his gallant struggle in the face of death.
Overwritten. Did you barge in here for a reason? Or just to do a book review?
The Board of Trustees meeting. It's imperative you attend. We need another strong voice to shut down the sycophants. Now, the board commissioned an independent feasibility study, and I got a sneak peek at it. I smell trouble.
These mints are useless. What time?
Tomorrow, 6 o'clock. See you later, alligator. Oh, come on now, it's your turn. In a while,
Will you get out of here?
we'll never win the war with that kind of spirit.
Tulips on the organ. My words. My book. Doe stole my book. I'll kill him. Oh, for the love of Lorca.
Bill and I were having dinner at that little Indian restaurant on Fremont. Bleeding Madras. And Bill orders a chicken vindaloo. I said, go ahead, it's your funeral.
Mother, please.
After the curry, he starts gulping like a fish out of water. But by the time we got here, he was fine.
Strange. He had no history of cardiovascular disease.
Nothing more than heartburn.
I forced him to check in overnight just in case. I thought he'd be safe in the hospital.
Mrs. Belvedere, whenever a patient dies unexpectedly within the first 24 hours after admission, it's customary. We're required by law. Well, I'd like to do an autopsy to see what happened and see if there's any underlying cardiovascular disease.
Biff. Marianne.
Well, I'd like to know.
Me too.
But what if we want an open casket?
Well, an autopsy doesn't preclude viewing at all. We're very careful to restore the patient to his or her original state.
You go ahead with your autopsy, Dr. Mambino. I think we'll have a closed casket.
You read this?
Yeah, when I was home convalescing.
What do you think?
Well, obviously the guy never spent a day in the hospital.
Why do Asian women always have to be portrayed like geishas or the Susie Wong?
Dr. Westphal.
Yeah.
Can I talk to you?
Shoot.
In private?
Yeah, sure, come on. Go ahead, Fiscus, I'm listening.
Well, sir, this is kind of complicated. It's about doctor-patient confidentiality.
Ah. Should we be having this conversation?
I've got a patient who I'll call A with complications. And also an ongoing relationship with a member of this patient's family who I'll call B. Now, I know that B would want to know what I know about A.
Now, does your patient want the family member to know?
A was vague.
Well, I think your job is to convince A to tell B, isn't it?
I tried. I think that B would be angry at me for withholding the information.
Ah, well, that puts you up against the classic ethical question, doesn't it? In other words, you can do right by B, but then you risk losing A's trust.
I see. Well, thank you for your help.
Is there something you're not telling me about this case, Fisher?
Your daughter, Lizzie?
What about her?
She's pregnant.
Look at the size of this liver. Riddled with tumor. What can I do you for?
I need to autopsy a patient, Dr. Vedder.
Whose viscera are you vivisecting?
Bill Belvedere.
Belvedere, right. Massive MI. Arrived COD a couple hours ago.
So what tray's he on? I need to get started.
Can this wait? I'm really swamped right now. People dying these days who haven't died before.
Don't worry, I'll stay out of your way.
What's the point? I see this all the time. Guy had a faulty clock, stuffs himself with guacamole and chips, heavy on the sodium chloride. He shook his salt shaker and fried his fat. Where's the mystery?
Dr. Vedder, an apparently healthy man drops dead at 45 of a heart attack. His family wants to know why.
What's the rush?
They want to get the remains to the funeral home. I need to perform this autopsy right now. What do I need to do, get a court order? Come on, Dr. Vedder, let's go.
Belvedere. Bill.
Thank you. Better. Hey!
What?
Where's his head?
Hello, dear.
Do I know you?
Dr. Arrowsmith. Just visited a patient of mine, Debbie Hoffman.
Are you on staff here?
God forbid, no. I'm her family's private physician, and I'm looking for the young man who admitted and treated her, Dr. Chandler.
Oh. Last time I saw him, he was headed toward on-call.
Oh, may I ask you a personal question? Where'd you get that lovely sweater?
McDougal's around the corner on Lehman.
Well, maybe I'll surprise my wife. I rarely get to this section of town. Thank you, dear.
Rosenthal. Nurse Rosenthal.
On call, huh? Excuse me.
Yeah.
Dr. Chandler?
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Arrowsmith. I'm the Johnson family physician.
So?
You're treating the granddaughter, Debbie Hoffman.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, at her mother's request, I took a peek. And frankly, I'm alarmed at your treatment, which seems casual at best.
Well, according to the latest journal reports, most ulcers can be successfully treated with cimetidines.
A mailbox full of glossy subscriptions doesn't make up for years of experience. Perhaps you don't know everything about this case that you should, huh?
Look, Dr. Arrowsmith, I understand you used to put patients on restrictive diets, magnesia alumina suspension, but time has proven that most of these remedies only make people worse.
You must be a first-year intern. Overeager to use the latest procedure. Impress higher-ups.
I'm in my 3rd year, and frankly, I've seen a lot of you old guys with your private practices, sitting on your behind in the burbs, getting soft and lazy on out-of-date information and techniques, giving the rest of us a bad name.
Who's your supervisor?
If you'll excuse me, I gotta get some sleep. I've been on duty for 36 hours.
You work fast. Mr. Belvedere couldn't even have been cold yet.
Well, the race is to the swift. Time, essence, freshness. The market is very particular, and the margins are thin.
What, just heads?
Oh, no. An assortment. Arms, feet, organs.
For transplants.
Well, we now have the technology, so a whole black market is springing up.
Oh, where do you sell these parts?
Research facilities, med schools. The lesser-known places have trouble getting enough bodies. You know how many medical students there are now? The numbers are staggering. They all need corpses to practice on. Nothing wrong with what I'm doing.
Bull.
I mean, who's to know? They're dead. They don't need them. Besides, I normally use indigents, people with no families. I made a mistake this time.
I want Mr. Belvedere's head returned to his body right now.
You're not going to blow the whistle, are you?
What do you think?
Oh, look, I'll make a deal with you. Belvedere's cabeza goes back on his cadaver, and we forget the whole thing.
No problems, no deals. Bring me the head of Bill Belvedere.
You know, okay. Mrs. Duesenberg.
What the? You don't have it? Where is his head?
I have no idea.
How could this happen?
Beats me. Unless somebody threw it away.
It's open. Dr. Griffin?
Dr. Westfall. I brought a bottle of Chateau Palmer.
Oh, thanks a lot, but all I know about wine is red is red and white is white.
This is a nice place.
Thank you.
How long have you lived here?
20, a little over 20 years. Sit down.
Where's Liz?
Upstairs changing.
Was there anything I can do? I mean...
No, I think you've done enough.
I'm sorry?
Bringing the wine.
Oh. Yeah, sure, no problem.
Hi, Seth.
Hi.
Did Dad offer you a drink?
No.
You gotta keep stirring the stew.
Uh-huh. Would you like one?
No, thanks. I don't drink.
I know why they call this goofy glue. Because it makes you goofy.
Okay, Barbara's asleep.
I'm next.
What are you watching?
Rob Weller. My kind of guy. Intelligent, funny.
Short.
Watch the wisecracks or I'll switch this with your Pepsodent.
Our special guest is that medical man of mystery,
Look.
Dr. C. of the
It's him.
best-selling expose.
Turn up the TV.
Cutting edge. Doctor, I find your book similar in tone to House of God. I missed that one. I was elsewhere. Otherwise engaged, eh? Now, you will not reveal your true identity because I don't want...
Crying out loud, Rob. Because he stole the book.
What book?
My book. The memoirs. That's John Doe.
I put doctors on pedestals.
Where?
Oh, boy, you need a stronger prescription. There.
I want to keep my private life private. And yet tomorrow, you are going to be in Boston at a book signing party. Well, I'm more than willing to make public appearances. Yes, but doesn't that seem a bit oxymoronic?
There's nothing oxy about it.
Out loud.
Ellen, I swear on these hands, I will find that worm, expose his rotten underbelly, and get my masterpiece back.
You haven't touched dinner, Dad.
Lost my appetite.
Tastes great. What do you call it?
Mrs. Irwin's stew. You want some more, Griff?
Sure. Thanks.
When are you going to tell him?
Later.
Lizzie, I'm not going to just sit here, you know. How could you let this happen?
Lizzie invited me over. I figured she okayed it with you.
Oh, cut the crap, will you? For God's sake, you're a doctor. You're an adult. It's your responsibility.
Dad.
Maybe I better go.
I warned you not to hurt her, didn't I? You know what I'd like to do? I'd like to throw you right through that damn wall.
Dad, Seth and I need to talk.
We all need to talk.
Dad, this is between us.
You keep saying that. You know, since I've walked in the door tonight, all you've said is stay out of this.
Because I can handle it myself.
Can you really? Now, you listen to me for a second, lady.
Again, I know exactly what you're going to say, and I don't need your preachy advice.
Well, that's fine. That's fine. I'm going to go pick up Tommy, and when I get back, you better be gone.
I was planning to save the surprise for dessert.
You're pregnant. What a sound. How are you feeling?
Except for Dad, all right.
What do you want to do?
I haven't made up my mind. What do you think?
Maybe the best way to correct this accident is to put everything back to square one.
Yeah, but Seth, there's a part of me that wants to have this child.
Don't be stupid. What What do you expect me to...
To do whatever you think is right.
Oh, boy. Boy, Look, Liz, I can't marry you. It's too soon for me to marry anybody.
Okay, I understand.
Besides, are you sure it's mine?
No, actually, I'm not. You know, it's a funny thing about my dad. I always think he's old-fashioned and narrow-minded, but 9 times out of 10, he turns out to be a great judge of character. Get out.
Hi. Came to get you up. Tommy's awake.
I've really got to study for this poli-sci quiz.
Lizzie, about last night. I apologize, sweetheart. I promised myself I wasn't going to lose my temper, but...
You know, I didn't do this on purpose.
I know that.
God, you know, I was only on my prescription a day. I should have had Seth condomized.
Yeah. Or you could have waited, you know. You could have said no.
Dad.
All right. You're not going to marry this fella, are you?
No.
All right, then when the baby arrives, we're going to deal with it the same way we deal with everything else, as a family. No shame and lots of pride.
I appreciate that, and I know how hard this is for you. I'm going to ace the test, come to the hospital, and have an abortion.
Lizzie, honey, you don't have to make this decision now, you know. You have a lot of time.
Believe me, Dad, I thought about the choices all night. We've got Tommy to take care of. I haven't finished school. Having a baby without a father just wouldn't be fair.
Yes, but sweetheart, there are ethical considerations as well as practical ones.
Relax the forehead, Dad, and stop worrying. I've got to study.
I need you so badly. I can't think of anything but you.
Oh, sir, can I get a cardboard box?
Oh, how about this one?
Oh. Oh, thanks. I'll be bottom.
Thank you.
I want you to take this down to the mailroom. It's a present for Mrs. Craig's mother in Peterborough.
It's heavy.
It's a porcelain urn. Hopefully, the next time I see that, she'll be in it. Have them slap a fragile label on it.
They're cutting edge, easy read, that upwardly mobile orderly. I can really identify.
I'm seeing the author this afternoon.
Give him my best.
Oh, I'll give him something. But it won't be your best.
The autopsy showed a long-term deterioration of Mr. Belvedere's arteries.
But he was in such good health. Didn't drink or smoke. Worked out on the rowing machine every day. Bill was in great shape.
Well, genetics play a part. Now, look at Jim Fix, the jogger. I mean, who could have been in better condition?
Oh, wait a minute. So you're saying you can pump iron and go for the burn, you know? But when your time's up, all the aerobics in the world won't keep you from keeling over.
Dad just wasn't built to go more than 45. But your father may have had a predisposition to heart trouble. Very likely his sensible diet and exercise actually prolonged his life to its maximum limit.
Well, if I knew he was going to wear out so soon, I would have taken better care of him.
Is there anything else I can do?
No, you've been very kind. Thank you.
Oh, yeah. We'd like to have you at the memorial service tonight if you're not busy. Dad was a real popular guy. I'm sure his friends are going to want to say goodbye.
Biff and Marianne have persuaded me. We should have an open casket.
Excuse me. Excuse me.
Philip, please sit down. You owe an apology to Dr. Arrowsmith.
Why?
In my day, young men were taught to treat their elders with respect.
In my day, respect is something that's earned.
You don't know anything about me, boy.
Boy? Look, I'm not sitting there and playing this game.
Dr. Chandler.
You can suspend me, you can fine me, hell, you can even spank me, but nobody, least of all this fat cat, is gonna look down his nose at me.
I'm not telling you to stay, Philip. I'm asking. I see nothing funny about this.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's just that he reminds me of me. Without the melanin, of course. I started my career at Boston General, 1946. And after 4 years in the Army, I was tired of authority figures telling me how to practice medicine. Besides, I wanted to be out in the world, making house calls, helping the sick, getting to know people, families. So now I'm a fat cat. Patients are willing to pay for my expertise. Now, what am I supposed to do? Say no?
Private practice is something only the rich can afford. It saps the best talent.
Mark my words, Dr. Chandler, it's also the future of our profession. Hospitals are leaning toward outpatient clinics, shorter stays. Doctors are finally realizing they can have a normal workday and a better life.
And more to the specific case. By not listening to Dr. Arrowsmith, you were deprived of a vital piece of this family's history.
Debbie's father suffered from G-cell hyperplasia, an inherited condition.
That causes chronic and severe ulcers.
I suggest you do an endoscope biopsy and see if we need to schedule Miss Hoffman for surgery.
Anything else?
No.
Thank you.
I'll send your husband up to you as soon as he arrives, Mrs. Hollenbach.
Oh,
Every day they build a new skyscraper, raises the view, doesn't it?
Used to be able to see all the way down to the harbor. I talked to Lizzie downstairs just before she went in.
Helen, I feel like a complete failure as a parent.
She's a wonderful girl.
Is that enough?
All we can do is try to teach our children well. But there comes a point when we have to respond to who they've become.
Yeah.
Difficult challenge, to say the least.
You know, Maureen always said, enjoy your kids while you can, because tomorrow they're going to be wrecking the car. Every time that phone rings late at night, Ellen, first thing in my mind is, where's Lizzie? And I'm having a hell of a time realizing that she's a grown woman. She's in charge of her own life. That puts me on the sidelines. I have to stay out of the way. I know it. But I'm torn between what I really believe is right and letting her find out for herself.
In any case, what's important is not what's going on downstairs, but how you respond after the fact.
Yeah. I'd love to have grandchildren someday.
How's Liz? The usual. Cramping the next few hours.
You give her Demerol for the pain?
Tylenol 3s. You want to see her?
Well, no, I don't think so.
The blood test and biopsy were positive, corroborating Dr. R. Smith's diagnosis of G-cell hyperplasia.
I'm going to have to operate and remove the acid-secreting part of your stomach.
What are the risks?
We can't guarantee that the ulcers won't return, and there's also a chance of disordered bowel function for several weeks following surgery.
And this was Aerosmith's idea.
Yes.
Sweet old guy, always there with a lollipop and a silly smile.
He's devoted to your family.
He is. Mother swears by him. He's good at cocktail chatter. Comfortable to be around. But the joke between us kids is he could take a common cold and turn it into strep throat like that.
Well, he knows what he's talking about this time.
Excuse me, Dr. Kim, is Debbie allowed visitors?
Yes.
She has a bevy of friends out here. Okay, boys, come on in.
Taking or using parts of the body without consent is mutilation. We've abused their trust.
The Belvederes were going to have a closed casket.
This underground trade in body parts could have an adverse effect on donors.
People stop donating transplant organs because they think the demand is being met by the flesh.
Disaster. There are a long list of patients waiting for hearts, kidneys. Many will die for lack of donors. We have no choice. Better bring better up on charges.
All I want to do is put Mr. Belvedere back together again.
Be prepared to tell the family the truth.
I'm sorry, sir. You must have a copy of the book to meet Dr. C.
I'm not interested in meeting him. I'm interested in beating him. Get out of my way.
Next. And what's your name?
You know my name.
I'm a doctor, not a mind reader.
You're a plagiarist, Doe.
You know, Papa H warned me at the bull run in Pamplona about guys like you. Manager, toss this bibliophobe out of here.
Come along, buddy.
Hey, wait a minute, wait a minute.
The party is over.
Hi, Dr. Craig. How's the hand?
I'll show you how it is. Up close and personal.
Stumbling down Locust Walk, coming back from Franklin Field. You and me and Sweeney. After Kazmaier and Princeton lowered the boom.
I beg your pardon.
You don't remember me, do you?
No.
Robin Baskins? I was in your graduating class at Penn, Wharton School.
My God, yeah. Sigma Chi. Treasurer. What the hell happened?
Embezzled, indicted, in jail.
Baskins. Sticky fingers, huh? You have a run in your nose, Sheila.
There he is, officer. The one with the mustache and the tired eyes.
Sit down. It's about time.
Well, it took me a while to raise the cash. They don't take the platinum cards, no more.
Hi, Ellen. Prettiest girl at Penn.
Yeah, after Candace Bergen.
Who's that?
Never mind. This judicial system really toasts my toes. I mean, they release Doe on his own recognizance, and I languish in the brig.
Mark, I read that book. Thank God your name's not on the cover. Loins, creamy thighs. I counted 30 variations on the word wet. Mark, explain something to me.
Look, honey, please. The hand therapy was going badly. The memoirs were boring. I was just...
Mark, we've been in the same bed for 30-odd years. How come you never used any of that expertise on me?
I always loved you, Ellen.
It sounds like Robin Baskins.
There you go. Will you please, come on.
Send it parcel post. Peterborough, New Hampshire.
Charge it to Dr. Mark Craig and stick a fragile label on it. Handle with care.
Will do. Damp and sticky. Better seal this.
Thanks for tattling. Hope I can return the favor someday. I'm not the only guy around here who's into parts, so don't just put the finger on me. I'm telling you, if I go, I know where all the bodies are buried. Take your pick. They're booked for Potter's Field. Choose the guy who looks most like your man and hope the mortician's a whiz with powder and pancake.
Well,
Well, this one wins by a nose.
Oh, there you are, Daniel.
Had to make a pit stop. I hate to attend a board meeting with a full bladder.
Yeah, I felt the urge myself. You know, we've got a problem.
Maybe we ought to run a faucet.
The feasibility study, have you read it?
Darnell didn't mince any words.
I don't see any way out of St. Eligius's financial pickle. I mean, we have three choices. Pour in more and more money just to keep trading water.
A hard concept to grasp in the men's room.
The feeling is trustees are going to vote to recommend to sell the hospital to a private health corporation.
Tony, what can we do to stop them?
Well, I'm in favor of selling. At least where profit management companies can sit down and go through our cost centers line by line to determine what must stay and what can be reduced or eliminated.
And in doing so, St. Eligius will cease to be a viable part of the community.
Well, we can't run this business with both belt and suspenders.
We won't even need pants if all we're going to do is bend over. Look, I was here when this property was purchased from the Archdiocese. Certain promises were made.
Daniel, that was over 30 years ago.
Well, I'm not going to sit by and watch this hospital turned into a wholesale health factory.
Well, then we have only one other scenario.
Oh?
Admit our time has passed, drink a toast to a glorious run, padlock the doors.
How is she? Stable. Dr. Kiem did an excellent job.
Mm-hmm. I wanted to thank you for persuading Debbie to have the surgery now.
Well, you called the play. My job was just to run the pattern.
I know Debbie thinks I'm an old fuddy-duddy, a buffoon. I'm like a third parent. Whatever I say, she does the opposite. If you hadn't backed me up, she would have said no.
It's all in the tone of voice. You know, I never did apologize to you.
That's true.
Well, I shouldn't have prejudged you.
You're right. Me neither. I walked into that on-call and I saw some guy asleep and black and 40 years my junior. I assumed you were a know-nothing affirmative action project. But you're smart. You care. And truth be told, you know more medicine than I ever will.
Well, but I don't have the connection you have to your patients. I mean, they come and go. I never see them again. I'm in a shoe store the other day. The lady behind the counter says hello. She says she was a patient of mine 2 years ago that I saved her life. I don't remember.
Ever since she had her first period and ran to me terrified, I've been trying to explain to this child the mysteries of the universe. But she's in a different area code. A trust fund worth millions, the bane of her mother's existence, the Dippy Duck Diaper Service. You have to love a girl like that.
Well, I got grounds.
Oh, I have a gift for Debbie. And, one for you. Think about going into private practice, huh?
I'll see Mr. Sandman and post op.
Dr. Craig, a word with you, sir. Look, I was wrong to run away, steal your manuscript, all right? But I had a good reason. Serving as your assistant gave my life meaning. I mean, working beside you, basking in your personality. You have so much character, Dr. Craig, and I have none. I thought if I took a little piece, you wouldn't even miss it.
Surgery went well. Your dad will be fine.
I showed the pages to a publisher. But he was so effusive in his praise. Well, I took credit. And I couldn't stop myself. I got hooked. A Craig junkie. The fawning, the adulation, the free hotels. Look, but I'm going public. I'm going to reveal myself on an HBO special, and at that time I'm going to announce you're the author. You can have everything. The praise, the spotlights, the home video rights. Me, I'll fade away to the 6th floor. Psych ward, here I come.
Oh, geez, Louise. Okay, keep on being Dr. C for as long as this donkey ride lasts.
You mean it? You mean it? Do you mean it?
Yes.
You're so generous.
No, practical. As my wife pointed out, if my patients learned that I wrote that sleaze, I'd lose all their confidence. So go ahead, have a field day. I only want one thing.
Name it.
The money. Next week, we sit down with lawyers, define profits, set percentages. I get the lion's share. I'll compensate you for being the front. Milk that personal appearance circuit for all it's worth.
Deal. And I want one thing from you. Would you autograph my copy? Okay. Choose your hue, felt tip or nylon stylus.
Mother hoped you'd be here.
I am so glad you came. He never looked better.
What is it, sweetie?
I feel really warm and I'm crampy.
It's all right. That's normal. I was thinking, Tommy's birthday's coming up, right? I was thinking maybe we ought to do something special this year. Maybe we ought to take a trip. What do you think?
Yeah, that'd be nice. We could visit Aunt Constance up in Sunapee.
No. I mean something we've never done before, like Washington, D.C., and see the Smithsonian, the White House, and all that.
Sure, that'd be fun.
You'll be fine, honey. Just get some rest, all right?
Yeah. Tough day.
I love you, you know.
I love you too. Night, Dad.
Night, sweetie.